Welcome to Fitch Painting Repairs Garage. Today's project, we're going to start tearing into this 59 Cushman. We got a little bit of a head scratcher on this one. Don't really know a whole lot about it. If you watched the other video, you saw where I was talking about it. I picked it up from another shop. The customer had dropped it off. The guy said he tore into it and went through the top end, and it has a low compression on the cylinder. So we're not sure. I've been looking at it a little bit just up on the thing, up on the lift, and I kick it over, it's got compression. Everything seems to work on it. The fuel line was disconnected on it. I got spark at the spark plug. I'm gonna put gas in it and see what it does. That's where we're at. So I've got fuel lines hooked up now. I gotta put some fuel in it and see if it leaks. Right now, with my key switch, as far as I understand, these had a kill button, not a switch, but I'm not 100% on that. So I'm not sure if this is hooked up correct. They do have a few lights, a few wires that are disconnected on the machine. I'll have to sort them out, but they look like they're probably got to do with the lights. These are the wires coming up off the stator right here. So either selection on the key, I've got spark on the spark plug, so that's, I don't know. So as far as I understand, you don't really need to have anything plugged in. There's no battery on this. Underneath this cover, the rotor right there, it's just got a set of points, and as you crank it over the condenser, it builds up juice and fires. So I guess the way to shut it off is to ground the ignition on it. And so that's how you shut it off. And so if I start it and the switch isn't doing its job, then I'll pull the spark plug wires off with a pair of insulated needle nose pliers. So that's the way we'll shut it off. So we're going to go ahead and put some fuel in it eventually, and we're going to see if we can get it to start. Is what the customer told me. There was an issue with the clutch, but the motor ran. So I don't know why the other guy tore into the engine. I don't know anything about it. So I'm just gonna go from scratch, like I picked it up and I have no clue about it, and I'm just trying to figure it out. So the engine rolls over. You can push it down by hand. Come on, I'll show you. It's pretty nifty little setup. You got this kicker pedal down here, and you just push, and it rolls the motor over. I can't do it too good because that thumb's still messed up. Can't bend it right now. Well, anyways, so that's where we're at with the machine. We're gonna get it fueled up probably tomorrow. So I won't post this as the video. We'll tag it right here, and then we'll come back and we'll show you getting it trying to fire up. All right, stay tuned. All right, welcome back to the garage. We're gonna go ahead. We got this thing ready to put fuel in it. Fuel line hooked up. We got spark on the ignition. We're ready to put some fuel in it and see. We're gonna empty out the garage, hold the bike off the lift, put some gas in it because I think it's probably gonna end up with a fuel leak because the carburetor's probably stuck. So we're gonna add a little fuel to it. We're gonna give it a few kicks and see if we can't get it to fire up. So that's where we're at. So stay tuned. I'm gonna put on a time lapse and we're gonna empty out the garage. All right, later. it runs. Now we just gotta solve the carburetor fuel leak. That was awesome. It's really running rich. Welcome back to the garage. Working on this 59 Cushman. We did get it started, but it was really pouring fuel out. So we went ahead, took the carburetor off, drained the fuel, got the carburetor off, and we're going through it. And flow ball did have some debris in it. Didn't look really bad, and we got everything soaking in here right now, and we're gonna get it all cleaned up. Got the float bobbing in there to see if it had any holes or leaks in it, if it's gonna fill up with fluid. It seems to be floating, doing its job. But this particular carburetor on here, let's find that number. Where was that number at? There was a number right there. What is that? MT71A. MT71A. This is a 1959 Cushman. It's not the Silver Eagle. It's just a Cushman Eagle. And it's got a little different carburetor on it. And so far, everybody's showing it out of stock. All the rebuild kits, all the carburetor replacements. So we're going to be looking for a place to find a rebuild kit on this. We put it back together and it's still leaking if we're having problems with it. It looks to me right here, see where this is the throttle control, it controls the butterfly for that. On the bottom of it right there, looks like there should be a plug in there to plug that. You know, you see that shaft you see moving around? That seems like a huge air leak to me. It should have a little aluminum plug in there, I believe. So that might be a problem with that carburetor. So we might end up having to look for a replacement for this thing. But it ran, didn't smoke. I didn't get it to engage in gear yet. Didn't get to test ride it, and that was partly because it was leaking so much fuel. I couldn't keep it running. So we're going to change fuel lines, petcock. We're going to change the fuel filter, and we're going to clean the carburetor, and we're going to put it all back together and adjust it, and then we're going to try to fire it up again. All right, stay tuned for that.